My name's Jimmy.
What's up, you guys? Jimmy here, back at you with another review for The Flash Season 2. And this is the 7th episode, titled Guerrilla Warfare, which in this episode, we see the return of Gorilla Grodd, which is another one of my favorite Flash villains. So, a few weeks learning about his return, I was getting pretty excited for this episode. Which we see him stealing stuff from different labs that would suggest that he's wanting to increase his intelligence. But at least I was thinking that. But he's using his mind control to do so. But at the same time in this episode, Barry is, even though he's kind of fully healed, he's still dealing with what happened in last week's episode, which he thinks that he lost. And, with that close death experience, which is probably the closest he has come to as the Flash, that can kind of get to you. I mean, being that close to death. But we actually later find out after he kidnaps Caitlin that Grodd doesn't want to increase his intelligence. He actually wants to create more of himself. So, yeah, not what I was assuming. I mean, I was kind of thinking of sort of the obvious, but yeah. But eventually they, because of Barry's inability to get over that stuff, they send Harry, dressed as the Reverse Flash, to kind of see about subduing him and getting Caitlin out, which I think only a teeny tiny bit did he succeed with that. But hey, they still won the day. But they figure out a place that they could send him where he could be around more of his own kind, exactly like himself, which is a place in Earth 2 that Wells was speaking of, which, thanks to Henry Allen's encouraging speech, advice to Barry, he was able to overcome that fear and was able to help send Grodd packing to Earth 2. And that was pretty much a gist of the whole entire episode. I have to say, like I said before, the return of Grodd was like the thing that I was looking forward to in this episode, and the thing that I liked the most from this episode. Which, just a tiny bit, I was thinking, I'm like, I hope this is not the last time we see Grodd. But seeing that final scene, which it's Grodd in the comics, it's referred to as Gorilla City, which, there are more just like Grodd. Maybe not with the mind control powers, but intelligent just like himself. So this is not the last that we see of Grodd, and this is a potential spoiler alert. I almost believe that Grodd will eventually bring an army back to Earth Prime, or Earth 1, I guess you could call it. That's what I think, because in the comics, in New 52, that's what happened after Barry had found Gorilla City and returned home. So I would kind of sort of assume the same thing in the show. But, another thing that I like from this episode is some of the Easter eggs. I really enjoyed a lot. First being Cisco's two attempts at a date with Kendra Saunders, the girl from Jitters, which he kind of vibes after touching her 2 times. First, he sees Carter Hall, a.k.a. Hawkman, which I'm thinking, oh shit, he knows that she loves someone else. And the second time, when they're kissing, he sees Kendra as Hawkgirl, which I thought that was awesome, since we're going to be seeing them in the next episode in 2 weeks. And I think it's called the episode is called Legends of Today. Makes sense, because it's going to be leading up into Legends of Tomorrow. And a few of the other Easter eggs, the ones regarding Wells. We saw the ring that the suit comes in, which when they talk about Wells knowing a little bit about microtechnology, I really do hope that this means that Barry will start using the ring. That would make it so much more like the comics, which I would predict that this season we would see that at some point. Maybe, maybe, maybe not until next season. And the fact that he wears the Reverse Flash costume, and he even says the same speech that in the alternate past when Thong had killed Cisco. So there was that as well. And also the ending scene, which we saw Gorilla City, which is an actual place in the comics, which that is pretty much my prediction on the next time we do see Gorilla Grodd, because I don't think this is the last time we are going to see him. And just like I've said before, I would like to see him as a potential future season-long villain. He just is that kind of villain that could be able to be so big of a threat that would take a whole entire season to beat him. Which like I said, I really do hope that. But that's pretty much it on my thoughts on the episode. Let me know yours down in the comments below, as well as if you noticed any Easter eggs that I did not mention. Just let me know down below. And also, I did a stream for Star Wars Battlefront, which I did last night at midnight, which it's only an hour long, so it's up on my Twitch, which is the same name as my YouTube channel, minus the number 1. And, you can check that out, and also be on the lookout tomorrow night for my review for the new episode of Arrow. So, definitely excited for that as well. And, you can check out my other reviews, Flash reviews, Arrow, Gotham, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., all that great stuff and more. And as always, my name is Jimmy, and until next time, bye.